What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be taking a look at Vykron, another Mattel Creations exclusive. He is a really cool figure. If you guys don't know about Vykron, he is like the original concepts of He-Man. There were three, like a barbarian, a war machine style, and then kind of a futuristic version. So these were the original concepts, as it says here, original designs inspired by classic concepts. So when they were first coming out with the He-Man line, these were kind of like the three base ideas that they had. And as we know, they went along with the barbarian way, but they kind of reused this for Man at Arms, and then this they kind of used on like a Zodak type character. And I believe it looks similar to the character that we see inside Castle Grayskull. There used to be a sticker in the vintage one. I don't have it. But either way, he kind of gives me vibes from that right there. But this is, we got one side of the box. I don't really want to say there's a front or back because I can't really tell. Then we've got this picture on the other side, more cool artwork. It looks like we've got a bunch of troopers down here. Then we've got like the War Machine version or the tank version. And then it looks like he's battling a bunch of Skeleton warriors with that one. And then this guy, we see like a dragon centipede type thing up here in the space scene. So really cool how they had three completely different routes for him, kind of like a G.I. Joe, a barbarian, and a Star Wars version. On the side, it's just kind of a continuation of that panel. As you can see, it just extends that right around there. Same thing on the other side. As we open the top here, it says Vykron, Ultimate Eternia Champion. The legend of Vykron's glory in the gladiator arena is known far and wide across Eternia. After every victory, he claimed a trophy and armor and weapons of his fallen opponents. After mastering each armor's battle techniques, Vykron became the one-man arsenal who defeated everyone who dared challenge him, no matter the foe or terrain. So, pretty cool. We pull it open and we've got more artwork here on the inside. We have that, kind of just a nice piece of artwork. And then I like this version, which you can kind of use as a diorama piece. I might actually fit this up in here somewhere, who knows? Or maybe use this as inspiration to kind of paint my background there. And then here he comes in this box, and as you can see, we got the battle axe. We've got some sort of weapon here. It looks like that headpiece here. I'm going to go ahead and get him pulled out of the box, and then we'll take a closer look. All right, so here's Vykron pulled out of the box, and he did come with a couple extra hands. He did have two of the gripping hands. Here is the other gripping hand that he had, but I went ahead and took that out and put a fist in his left hand, and then we have a fist that he also came with for his right hand as well. This skin tone's really unique. From what I'm seeing here, it doesn't really match any of the other skin tones that we've gotten with any of the other figures, so these hands are pretty much going to stick with Vykron alone. They're not really going to match up if you try using them on another figure. Just to keep that in mind. I know some people like to part swap different stuff. These hands, they're just not going to cut it unless you find a figure with this skin tone, but I don't have one at the current time. As far as weapons, he did come with this sort of jetpack backpack thing, and that will slide right onto his back. Obviously, I'm not going to put it on with this armor here. It's probably going to go either onto that more army style or the more sci-fi style. We might check it out on both and see which it looks better, but I just feel like it definitely doesn't match up this future techie looking stuff with the barbarian type armor. So I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side for now. And I guess we'll go over that future tech armor first. It does come with its own little weapon, which is like a little pistol blaster pew pew here. I really like this. It kind of reminds me of the one that came with Zodak, only a little more detailed. And I happen to have the one that came with Zodak right here, so you can see how they're very similar. I feel like they kind of based Zodak's weapon off this, or maybe vice versa. Maybe they based this weapon sort of off Zodak's, because I feel like they're in the same realm here. So we'll go ahead and set that back off to the side. And then he also came with these two gauntlets, big old white gauntlets with this big old orange circle here. So that's pretty nifty. That's going to kind of help change the look of him as well. And then last but not least, he came with a torso piece here as well as a head. Now you can see it's just the ball peg, so this isn't a helmet that's going to go over the head that you already have. It's actually going to just replace the head. And it looks like this hose can unplug from here and plug into there if you choose to do that. As you turn around to the back, you will see the two holes here, and those will line up perfectly with these two little knobs in case you want to stick this on the back of this armor. And again, that's something that we're going to try once we get the future version of Vykron kind of suited up here in just a little bit. Now next, we have the kind of war machine type armor, and he does come with this like battle ram looking, really cool looking blaster. It would be, I'm not sure if it just is like a battle ram or maybe if the mouth opens and it shoots kind of like a Gatling gun. Really cool though, nice kind of silver casting job, looks really good. The helmet kind of looks like a big falcon head. It does have these guns on the side that move up and down, so you can adjust them that way. And then the mouth will open as well, and so you can see the guy's face down in here, kind of like a knight's helmet. This looks like it's going to be really big and bulky. There's a spot right here made for this spike to plug into. However, I'm probably going to use this on a different character, and I'm going to keep this Vykron displayed just like that. So that's one good thing about this. If you do have other Masters of the Universe Masterverse figures, you can put this armor on them, so you can display all three ways of the armor. It's not just going to be a waste sitting there. And then he does come with a little bit more stuff. He's got these shin guards that he comes with. You kind of do expect him to be kind of tanked up though. I mean, he is a tank looking army guy. And then he also comes with wrist bracers that kind of have spiked knuckle things here, which I imagine would suck getting hit with. It kind of looks like the peaks of Castle Grayskull, the little crown part here. So really cool attention to detail. I like that a lot. And then his chest armor kind of looks like a green variation of Man-at-Arms armor. I like this a lot. I'm considering picking up another Man-at-Arms just so I can either have that chrome body from the Man-at-War or a green body for Man-at-Arms underneath this. I feel like it would just add something to it and look that much cooler. I've got a temporary body for this right now, but I'll look for that to change out. If I do, I'll do an update video in the future. Now, as far as Vykron goes, he does have the standard articulation for Masterverse figures. He can look to the left, he can look to the right, he can look to the ground, and he can look up to the sky about that far. He does have a 360-degree rotation in the shoulder joints, as well as a cut in the bicep, which lets it swivel all the way around. Double jointed pinless elbows, so he can reach all the way up to his head. Really good flexibility, movability here. This will spin all the way around in the wrist, and it can rotate forward and backward. It is a little bit hindered because of his gauntlet here, but that's kind of to be expected, I would assume. He does have the cut here in the middle, so he can party boy back and forth side to side. He can lean all the way back, and he can lean all the way forward with that diaphragm cut. He does have a waist cut as well, so he can turn all the way around at the waist. These guys are extremely posable. Splits to make Jean-Claude Van Damme jealous right there. You may or may not see the cut here in the thigh, so that does swivel all the way around as well. He does have a double jointed pinless knee, so he can get a really good bend. This guy's super good. He's not cold. He's warmed up. He's been in the house. He's been in the box just waiting to be unleashed for a while now, so he's definitely ready to go. I like this figure a lot. Super cool looking. I'm going to go ahead and get him set back up on his stand here, and then we will get those other armor pieces put out so you can see what those look like on the other figures. All right, so here's a look at that Spaceman armor. And what I did was I ended up taking it and putting it on a Zodak body that I had. Zodak was for sale at Five Below or Ross, one of those two, I believe, for extremely cheap. I want to say Ross because he was $3.99. So $3.99, got an extra body. I feel like the gray feet work out good. His helmet works kind of good. It kind of matches this helmet that he has. It's just, I don't know. I felt like it was a good body to use with him. I really like the gray. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of is the red around the loincloth here. So I'm probably going to either paint that white or orange just so that it kind of flows together and matches with the rest of the figure. But I'm really liking this. And other than the red around that little bit there, I'd say this is definitely a good figure to use for this futuristic kind of spaceman looking version of Vykron, just so you can display them all together. I'm going to go ahead and get him pulled out and then pull in the next version, which is kind of the War Machine version. We'll take a look at him. But let's go ahead and look at the back of this guy real quick. And I'll show you where he does have these two holes right here. We are going to plug this in because I feel like this should be the one to have it, because it can't go on all of them. So I feel like it looks really good on this one. It adds something extra to the back of that right there. It just looks really nice. So win. Really liking this figure in the way that he came out. So let's get him pulled out of the way and get the next one set up. All right, and here we have the third and final version of his armor applied to none other than the first standard He-Man that came in the Revelation Masterverse wave. So not everyone's favorite He-Man, probably most people's least favorite He-Man. So it works good for something like this, just applying an extra thing. We're covering up that head sculpt that a lot of people disliked. So I feel like this one works really well for putting this third armor on. Like I said, I'm probably going to get a Man at War, an additional Man at War, or another Man at Arms. That way we have green. I just think that all around that'll look better. But as for right now and the extra bodies that I happen to have laying around, right here was an extra He-Man, and I wanted to be able to display them all three together. So there they are, all pulled in together, and I have to say the actual Barbarian Vykron style, kind of Conan looking version is my favorite out of the set. I feel like most people would probably agree with me. It's a really cool figure. They did a really good job on his armor, the color scheme, the metal, everything looks really great on Vykron, and I'm super happy to have him finally opened up so I can get him displayed on my shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and pull him out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and talk about who is my second favorite out of the set. And you can probably tell with your own eyes, it's going to be this guy right here. Just look at him. He just looks awesome. Almost my favorite in the set. If this would have been orange and it just would have matched, or white instead of this red and it just would have matched a little better, he would have had a little tougher fight for that first place slot with Vykron. But I do really love this kind of spaceman character. So many different things that could be done with this character. I've had a lot of different ideas, so you may see another evolution of this sometime in the future as well. Once I get a different set of bodies for these two and get them honed in exactly the way that I want, I'll probably do another video on those just so you can see them in their final form. I do like to customize. And then here is the third and least favorite. Some of you guys might really like this. It is cool. I would have to say, if we pull the helmet off, I do like it better with the helmet off. But I'm going to display it with the helmet on just because it is part of that Vykron set, you know? So I feel like it needs to be displayed with the helmet on, unless there was some other way to put the helmet. I feel like if it could attach differently, that would be really cool. Like if it could go on his back and then kind of swing up over his head, kind of the way Rio Blast's mechanism works. But there you have it. There are the three versions of Vykron. Please let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite. Do you like the Barbarian version of Vykron the best? Do you like the Army version of Vykron the best? Or are you a Spaceman version of Vykron? Like I said, I prefer the Barbarian first, the Spaceman second, and the Army version last. Don't forget to tell someone you love them. I hope you have a blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time.